The stage is set for the 2025 UEFA Champions League Grand Finale with
Ruiz, he smashed that one home.
With the former Italian champions Inter Milan taking on the reigning champions of France, Paris Saint-Germain, in the final scheduled for Saturday, May 31st, 2025 in Munich. In a strange start, this will be the first time in history that these two clubs will face off in a competitive European fixture in what promises to be a compelling clash of styles for European royalty. It will be recalled that Paris Saint-Germain secured their spot in the final after completing a 3-1 aggregate win over Arsenal in the semi-final, in a tie that saw the Parisians' team balance, tenacity and confidence come to the fore. Inter Milan, on the other hand, edged the Spanish giant Barcelona 7-6 on aggregate in what will go down in history as one of the most keenly contested Champions League semi-finals. With two teams chasing European glory, led by experienced and successful coaches in Luis Enrique and Simone Inzaghi, and both sides aiming to overcome recent memories of defeating the Champions League final, the question begging for answer is, which club will be crowned European champions at the Allianz Arena on Saturday night? While speaking with some football fans at the Polytechnic Ibadan about the likely outcome of the game, 4 fans predicted Inter Milan to win the trophy due to their experience and defensive solidity.
If it's experience, Inter has it. PSG, they are fast, they are attackers, they are very good. That's very hard, but I will say Inter. I will say Inter because of experience, and they are very good defensive. And attack, if they attack too, they are very clinical in their attack.
Inter will surely win the final because they have all it takes to win the final. It has been there that from the beginning of the Champions League, they are the team that conceded the least goals, and as well for what they did against Barcelona. I think with that intensive match and with the agility of their player, they will surely win the final.
Actually, Inter Milan, they are very dangerous. They have they are attacking are dangerous. If you look at Inter, if they have 4 shots on target, 3 goals or 2 goals, so they don't used to lose chances. They don't waste chances at all.
I think it will be Inter, because I think Inter play a very good game against my team, Vamos Baka. So I'll be supporting them for that.
Another 4 fans picks PSG to take the crown to the French capital, citing many factors that can influence the outcome of the game.
I think PSG will win the Champions League because they never won it before. So maybe for that they will put more effort, and actually they are trying their best. So I think it's the right time to win it. So Dembele, a lot of players, they are very excellent. There are a lot of strikers there, so they will try their best. So
yeah, I think PSG will win because they play more of good football than Inter Milan, and Dembele is more active on field than any other players.
I'm picking PSG to win the match because the Munich Stadium is a stadium whereby it supports those who have never won the UEFA Champions League before. So come to think of it, Chelsea and some other 2 clubs have done it at Munich. So I'm picking PSG to win the Champions League.
PSG, I want them to win it because of Dembele, and I want them. Inter is not that good, but I want PSG to win it.
Meanwhile, 2 fans chose to sit on the fence, stressing that both teams have something to fight for on Saturday night, and with their qualities, the game will be keenly contested.
I believe the game is going to be very tough because the 2 teams have been very active from the beginning of the tournament, and especially if we check the way Inter Milan actually got to the final, it's not really as if they have these too much quality players, but they have the experience, and at least they've been very consistent in the tournament for the past few years now. And the opponent, which is PSG, although I know it's not really as if they've actually won the Champions League before.
They've not won
it before. But the thing I just say about it is they have very good midfielders and they have very good young players that are actually agile, and their attacking options are very good. And in terms of coach, they have a coach who actually had the experience of playing Champions League, who has won it before. So it's going to be very tough.
Never know, because norms now PSG play well because they never collect the Champions League before. And Inter don't collect their, but Inter don't lose their league. So you know we want me PSG beat them because he don't lose league because of Champions League. And PSG never collect, both of them will play well.
However, the fans gave their score prediction for the final.
Of experience, I will say Inter 2-1.
My prediction is 2-1 in favor of PSG.
With the back line of Inter Milan, I will just predict 2 in favor of Inter Milan.
Let's just say 2-1.
I'll just go with a 2-1 Inter.
I want PSG to win it 1-0.
think like 2-1 because they financial. So I'm thinking to be 2-1.
2-1
Inter,
Inter Milan.
yeah.
2-1 PSG.
2-2. PSG go win.
When both teams step out at the Allianz Arena on Saturday night, it will mark the first Champions League final in 21 years without a Premier League, Bundesliga or La Liga club involved. At least one English, German or Spanish club has appeared in the Champions League final since Jose Mourinho's Porto beat Monaco 3-0 in the 2004 showpiece. This means that all the winners of the UEFA Champions League since 2004 have come from one of those three nations, leading many supporters to often dismiss the quality of other leagues in Europe, labeling them the Farmers' Leagues. However, in a deep contrast, Paris Saint-Germain seems to have defied the odds this season by beating 4 clubs from the English Premier League on their way to the UEFA Champions League final. A sports journalist at the University of Sheffield in the United Kingdom, Sebastian Austin, while describing PSG's run in the Champions League this season, had this to say.
It's been a tale of two halves, their run to the final. Obviously, you look at the league stage, they really struggled to begin with, only scraping through on the last day by 2 points. That win over Manchester City at the Parc des Princes was absolutely crucial. I think it's a little bit like their season. The first half of the season, they were just starting to gel, and then the second half, you know, everything clicked. And you saw that in their win over Liverpool. I think the two best teams in Europe this season, and for them to squeeze through on that one on penalties, get the job done at Anfield after losing at home, really impressive performance. And then Villa, crazy game. That was one that could have gone either way as well. Just about got over the line, which I think in previous years they wouldn't have done. And then Arsenal, I think that was probably the most impressive. And I think that everything sort of is coming together at the right point for PSG. So yeah, I think it's been an impressive run to the final.
Sebastian also stressed that the quality of French Ligue 1 in terms of competition has helped Paris Saint-Germain to stay fresh and fit for the final than Inter Milan.
I think it does a little bit. I think with a lot of things in football, there are positives and negatives to it. You think of the positives, they're coming into the final on Saturday fresh. They're going to be a lot fresher than Inter Milan because they haven't had that challenge. They haven't been pushed all the way. They can rest players when they need to. They can save Ousmane Dembele for, you know, when he needs to play for the big games. He can save him for the Champions League. They didn't have to force him to play when he wasn't fit. So I think it obviously from that point of view helps them a lot. And I think when we're seeing such a big schedule in football, such congestion, I think it's proving more and more important that. But at the same time, they aren't being tested week in, week out. And it does mean that when they come up against some of the top teams in Europe, they're a little bit rustier. But I do think now with the importance of fitness and the importance of keeping your best players fresh, especially at the back end of the season with the Club World Cup coming up, yeah, I think it's actually been a positive for them.
The last time a UEFA Champions League final was staged at the Allianz Arena was 2012 when Chelsea defeated Bayern Munich in a thrilling penalty shootout to win their first ever UEFA Champions League title. 13 years later, another first-time winner of the competition can emerge on German soil if Paris Saint-Germain goes ahead and lifts the trophy on Saturday. In his prediction, Sebastian said the outcome of the game will be similar to the 2023 final and that Inter Milan would have to make the game chaotic if they want to win on Saturday.
I think we're going to see a cagey game, but if Inter Milan want to win, they have to play it in the same way they played against Barcelona. They made it uncomfortable for Barcelona. They didn't let them settle. They didn't let them get into a rhythm and just apply pressure on their back line. They made it chaotic. They hit them on the counter-attack. They made it an open game. And you might look at it on paper and see Paris Saint-Germain's attack. It's pacey. If you have it open at the back, you're going to get hurt. Yes, but they've got to be willing to get hurt to get the rewards. I just don't think they're going to do that. I think it's too big a risk on such a massive occasion. I actually think we're going to see a very similar final to the one we saw a couple of years ago with Inter Milan when Manchester City won 1-0. And that's what I'm going for in this one. I think it's going to be a cagey affair. It could be a classic, but I'm going 1-0 PSG.
It is widely believed that there won't be much in between the two teams in terms of quality. Paris Saint-Germain have been the best team in Europe in 2025, having the best midfield. Inter Milan, on the other hand, have the best defense in the competition with a fast-paced attack. With the two most informed goalkeepers in Europe manning the goal on Saturday night, the question is, what will make the difference? Individual talent, special quality, or a glimpse of tactical genius from the managers? We await the showdown as it unfolds at the Allianz Arena.